We are live on YouTube. What's going on, guys? We're going to be bringing Jeremy in a minute. But before we get started, let us know where you're from. We can see your comments. We got our comments on right now. Let us know where you're from. And most importantly, what you're excited to learn about from Jeremy, who built a six-figure cleaning business outside of his 9 to 5. What happened? We are live. We are live. What's going on, guys? Let us know where you're from and what you're most excited about to learn tonight. And if while people are joining us, we're gonna give you a little bit of a background about us. So we are the Heartzogs.
Wait, not already. Just wait till they join.
They joining.
Okay, yeah. I was just gonna wait, but go ahead.
So we are the Heartzogs. We own a 7-figure cleaning business in Dallas, Texas. We've been in business for 5 years. We're coming up on our 5th year anniversary in our cleaning business, which we started actually Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving Day. We started on Thanksgiving Day. We're gonna do a whole live on that and that story. But we started on Thanksgiving Day, and we are almost on 5 years in the cleaning business. And we've been teaching people how to grow and scale cleaning business from scratch, or if you've also been in the cleaning industry for a while. And we've been teaching that for a little over 2 years.
2.5 years, yeah.
About 2.5 years now. So Jeremy took our course, Cleaning Business University, and he grew and scaled his cleaning business to over 6 figures. And we're going to talk to him about his story, his background, how he was able to do that, the ups and downs. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat, in the comments section. Let us know where you're from as well. New York City, California. Okay. Andre said cook. Kimberly said let's go. First month down. Mathis, good job. All right. So you ready to bring Jeremy in?
Yeah, I was looking for it.
What happened?
I was just checking.
All right, we're going to bring Alabama. Okay. So, Jeremy, we're going to bring you in. We're going to get right into your story.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good.
We are good. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. No complaints, man. Blessed.
We want to make sure everybody can see and hear us. Everybody can see and hear us. Drop it in the chat.
Just say yeah if you yes or yeah. That will be helpful for us.
So before we get started, we want to give a shout out to Jeremy. Shout out to Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
You see
it is their Founders Day. We ain't going to talk about all that. We ain't gonna say you chose the wrong frat or nothing like that. But it's all love today.
You chose violence tonight, okay?
No, not at all, man. Well, happy Founders Day to the fellas out there, man. Of Omega Psi Phi. If you guys don't know, I'm an alpha, so you already know. But my Founders Day coming up, so we ain't gonna talk about that today. We had to focus on Jeremy and his story. So we told people a little bit about your background, but the title was NASA engineer earns 100K in the cleaning business. So what do you do in NASA, and how'd you even get into that field?
Yeah, so again, man, thank you for inviting me on to the show, man. It's a blessing to be here and talk to everyone. So my background is actually in computer information systems. I do have a minor in physics as well. So I've been around tech since college when I graduated in 2014. It's kind of a long story as to how I got to NASA, but essentially on what I do is on the vehicle, there are different servers and flight computers that control different mechanisms on the actual rocket. In fact, the rocket that just deployed earlier yesterday at 1 a.m., Artemis 1, my team actually worked on that and developed the servers for that. Essentially, as an engineer consulting at NASA, all I'm really involved in is the server-to-server communication between the ground systems and the actual rocket.
So you just launched a rocket, yesterday, night before?
Artemis 1, yeah, 1 a.m., November 16th.
Oh, congratulations, man! What is? I want to know what that entails, actually.
And how long have you been at NASA?
I started at NASA in May of 2020, so a little bit over 2 years.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So you said, what does it entail? Man, that's a lot.
So give us the brief overview as to what your part of it is.
Day looks like.
Yeah.
The day-to-day. So being that I'm one of the associate managers for my team, I spend 90% of my day is in meetings. Again, with the server-to-server communication that we're doing on the vehicle, I'm involved in making sure that the telemetry is right, the different commands that are being sent from like the ground systems, the abort systems. We have to, we just put something in there called flight termination, meaning that if a sensor is going off while the vehicle is on the pad, that something is wrong. We want sensors to tell us, hey, we need to abort this mission, shut it down. We need to, red flags need to fly everywhere, right? So it's really about all the commands and the circuitry and the telemetry that's being passed from, the ground systems to the space launch systems to, the different range safety teams. All of that, all of those commands and telemetry is passed through the vehicle, and my team manages that.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of big words.
So how do you get with NASA? Do you apply for the job? Is it on like Indeed or ZipRecruiter? Or how do you get? Do they call you like, yo, we want you?
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of a funny story, man. So I was actually working at the FedEx headquarters in Memphis, and I kind of just wanted to do something different. I mean, FedEx was good to me, but slinging packages gets kind of old after a while and managing that. So essentially, I was on LinkedIn one day and I saw that a contracting company was hiring and they wanted to contract people out to NASA. And I just, had a background in database administrations. I put my name out there. Next thing you know, government's calling me saying like, hey, what's your social security number? I need your mom's social security number. Friends, last 10 years address. I'm like, oh shoot,
Yeah.
like, this is serious, So, and then about 3 months later, after they do all their background checks, which is thorough, they said, hey, how would you like to come work at NASA? And I said, let's do it.
Sure.
Let's do it. So
where are you originally from?
San Antonio, Texas, originally. My dad is spent almost 30 years in the Air Force. So I was born in San Antonio, but I've lived multiple different places. Especially after college, I went to school at Grambling State University, HBCU, shout out. Then I lived in Portland, Oregon for 3 years, working at Intel. Then I worked at a startup in California. Hated it. That's a long story. Then I'm in Memphis, and now I'm here in Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, I don't think I knew you were in Alabama. I don't know what happens. What is in Alabama in general, but I saw somebody else said they were from Alabama, but
somebody in the chat is definitely from Alabama. So
I'm like, what even goes on there?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
So you're in NASA, and how do you even decide? Do you have multiple side hustles? Do you do anything outside of NASA? How do you decide I'm going to start a cleaning business outside of NASA?
Man, okay. So let's get into it. So starting a cleaning business was not the first thing that I decided. I mean, it wasn't my first thought, right? So in 2020, when I first started at NASA, I had a lot of free time because, I was still learning. And at NASA, it's kind of just like, we hire you, let's just drop you onto a project and they're just like survive, basically, right? So they're like, these meetings, read these books, all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm not going to do this for like ever, right? So I had a ton of free time on my hands. So I thought to myself, like, it was in the middle of COVID and all these people were talking about like, oh, like I work here, but I also work here remote as well. Then I would, they had like 3 different like hustles all remote, allegedly, right? And I was like, that's cool, but maybe I could work on like something for my own personal brand, right? So the very first thing that I thought about doing was actually having a vending machine business. Hated it. Would not do it again personally. Now,
really?
It may work for a lot of people, but for me, I was like, I'm not really messing with that too much because I did not want to be outside machines, restocking them. Oh, we need you to come like wipe off the machine. It's COVID. Can you come like do X, Y, and Z? Was not trying to do that, right?
I would assume that the cleaning person in that building would clean it off. No.
Man, no. Well, at least for my situation, they wanted me to come service them, clean them, restock them, obviously. Oh, we tried to shake the machine. The circuit got thrown off. The bags are stuck. It's taking people's money. Can you come fix it? I was like, dude, I was just there yesterday. Like, I was
okay, so too much in-person stuff.
Too much in person. So that's when I realized that I really wanted to do something where I didn't have to leave my house, right? So just kind of was, doing some research on other things that I could be doing with, as a side hustle. I came across you all's course. I was like, well, I thought about a cleaning business like a few years ago. Like, let me see what's up. So I bought the course, took it, followed the blueprint. Here we are today.
Got it.
So a lot of people. So let's go back to the time commitment. So you mentioned the vending machines not being perfect for you because you had to be there and you had to go service the machines.
Right.
Couldn't you just outsource that from the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, like if I could find someone who actually wanted to do that, then sure, yeah. But
You got to find the machines and then also okay. So that was
man,
that was
you gotta
difficult.
find the machines, and no one in Huntsville is actually like selling machines. So I actually drove down to Atlanta, which is only about 2.5, 3 hours away, to find a vendor. He had these machines. They were kind of like old, and they needed to like you had to like put your own card reader on them, and then you had to transport the machines, and then once you get them, you got to load the machine. Then you got to stock the machine, and then it was just too many moving parts for me. And again, like I can't do all this when I'm also trying to like work a full-time
Build a
job
career.
for NASA,
Yeah.
right?
So you actually were already starting this business. You were doing some of the moving parts already.
I was in the trenches. I was in the game, and I was like, literally 2 weeks in, I was like, "Nah, this ain't it."
All right. So you come across obviously Cleaning Business University. You come across the course, and I know everyone's like, "Yo, back in the day, I wanted to start a cleaning business." So my mom had a cleaning business, so I cleaned houses. So you're like, "All right, I'm gonna give this a shot." And what made you say I'm gonna give this a shot? Like you just went from vending machines to a cleaning business. What made you say I'm gonna give this a shot?
Well, again, like I said, I wanted something where I'd been following y'all's page for some time, right? And y'all always talked about how you didn't have to clean any houses. You can run your business from like your laptop base. As long as you have like a laptop and a cell phone, you can run the business. And I thought to myself, well, maybe this is something I could try. I mean, like at the end of the day, my thought was always, if it fails, I still work at NASA, right? So
I'll be tell people that you can keep that 9 to 5 because
I can keep the 9 to 5. Like I'll be okay, right? But I was like, well, I'm young, and I just turned 30 at the time. I thought, man, I might as well try something different. Like, why not? So I have some family members on my dad's side that are in like the janitorial, like house cleaning business as well, right? And I had seen them like working, but they were scrubbing baseboards and all that stuff. And I thought to myself, like, well, that's not really what I want to do. But if I could like have a company where I contract with those people, and take a small percentage, then that might be something that I would be interested in. And then again, like I said, I took y'all's course, and y'all essentially were doing exactly what I was thinking about doing maybe like a year or two ago. So bought the course, and like I said, the rest is history. I'm here now.
So you got the course and then went live when? So you got the course what month or?
So it's funny. So I think I bought the course in December, maybe, and
of last year.
December of 2021, right?
Yeah.
Right before 2022. I bought the course, and man, this really I could probably be a lot further because I sat on the course for about a month, right? Analysis paralysis, like bought the course. I was just like reading it, and it was also like Christmas. So I was hanging out with my family and New Year's and stuff like that. It wasn't the first thing on my mind, but I always told myself, like, look, like I'm not going into 2022 without something going for me, right? Like that's just not something that I was gonna do. So I bought the course, and in January is when I actually started like going through the course and got the website set up and Theme Street and some of the other stuff that you talked about in the course. My first cleaning after I hired a few really just one contractor, was the last week of February. So it was like February 25th or something like that. And then the business really started going in like March, like early March.
All right. So I want to backtrack a little bit. So you said you got the course in December, you sat on it for about 4 weeks. So we're talking about maybe January. So January to about February is when you took it seriously, and you had your first contractor by about February?
By about February, yeah. I mean, after New Year's, I'd say like I started like I was watching at least like 1, maybe 2 videos a day, right? So I'm still working my 9 to 5. I'm still, we're also in the middle of the the pandemic, and I was working fully remote at the time, so I was still at home chilling, I was kind of like relaxing, working the 9 to 5, and then like on the side, I was like watching the videos, and I was like following along and doing stuff with y'all. But yeah, I got my first contractor maybe in mid-February. And I was using ZipRecruiter as well. So here goes another thing. Like ZipRecruiter is cool, but man, they'll send you like 100 people, but only like one of them is really like quality, at least in my opinion, because they'll answer those questions like, do you have cleaning experience? And they're like, they'll answer yes. And then when you call them, it's like, yo, like, Mark, tell me about your experience. It's just like, oh yeah, I ain't really gotten that. How much y'all pay though? I'm like, dude, like, I'm like, what you
Yo,
doing?
we know exactly how that feels.
That's exactly how it feels.
Like, why you so it took me maybe 3 weeks to get one solid person and two like just like a backup, really. So when I started, when I really officially launched, I really only had one contractor. Again, do not, anyone listen, do not follow that. Like, you definitely need like 5, 6, 7, definite people. The biggest headache that I've had with the business so far has really been like hiring good, reliable people. But like I said, like, just to get started, just because I was sick of like, just sitting on like the business, and I had everything set up, like the website was good, the CRM was good. I had everything going. I really just needed a contract. So once I got one, started the Google ads, and, just took off from there.
And honestly, 2-3 weeks to find someone is not a long time in this business, to be quite honest.
Yeah, you're right.
It can take months sometimes. We've been through droughts of hiring people. So
listen, like, I'm still hiring today, right? So I'm 8 months in the game, and if I look at, like, how like whenever someone like leads a business, you can archive them in Launch 27. I mean, like, if I look at my list, there's like 40 people in there. So I mean, it's one thing, you always have to be hiring, you always have to be interviewing people. I mean, because cleaners come and go. I mean, that's just the nature of the business, right? And I don't fault them for it. Everyone's situation is a little bit different. But like, it took me about 2 to 3 weeks just to find one good one. And then it was almost like every 2 weeks I was hiring like maybe one other person, then maybe another person after that. And then one person would leave for whatever reason. And then I'd have to hire like 2 more people. So it's a never-ending challenge, but I mean, like, it's worth it though.
So when you
no, I was gonna say, you said the hardest part has been hiring people, and I was gonna say, what do we say the hardest part is?
Hiring people. Like,
period. I just want to make it clear. That's what we preach from the mountaintop.
The thing is, like, even with hearing y'all say that, I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I got one person. She stopped. I was like,
you gotta live and learn.
She ain't never gonna leave me. No.
Yeah.
Like, she was gone.
She ain't never gonna leave me.
Never gonna leave me. I treat her well. Like, nah, she was out of here. So
So I want to, because you mentioned you started, you got the course around December, and during that time you were watching videos after work. So how was you managing your time doing? Because you mentioned you got a 9 to 5, you're trying to grow this business, especially we know at the very beginning it takes the most amount of time to get started. So how are you managing your time early on?
Man, I really wasn't, if I'm going to be honest with you. So I was working fully remote for NASA, right? So I would spend, 8 to 5, like, working. And then from like 6 to 10, I was working on the business. And I mean, that's just kind of what you have to do early on. I mean, I saw this post on like Twitter or somewhere on social media where it was like, yo, I traded my 8 to 5 for a 24/7. When you get into the business, it's really an all day thing, right? So, I mean, even today, 8 months in the game, we've reached like some really big milestones. I still spend, the majority of my day working on the business, interfacing with contractors, interfacing with the cleaners. I have a team of people now that I'm blessed to have, and I still have to work with them, all day just to make sure that they have what they need. And again, I'm in a little bit of a different situation because, again, like, I do work remote 3 to 4 days out the week now. So I do have a little bit more free time. Like, if I need to take a phone call during the middle of the day, I can do that, right? Like, if I was in the office 24 or like not 24/7, but 8 to 5, that'd be a little bit more difficult. So again, I'm only 8 months in the game, so I definitely am still learning how to manage my time efficiently. But I mean, like, it's something that you constantly have to be working on, right? Like, I'm always working on the business. I'm always doing stuff for it. I'm sure that there will be one day where I can fully, like, just take a step back and be like, hey, the business is, it can go ahead and flourish. But right now, it's still kind of difficult to manage in a way, but we make it work.
Yeah.
I definitely want to remind people, because that's the best part about these conversations, that they see us and we say that we're completely hands off because we had to get there. Like, we've been in the business for 5 years. Most people quit before that first year. You're 8 months in.
Oh, don't get twisted.
We gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Most people quit before they even get to the point we're at. to enjoy the business. We put an hour in once a week. We have a conversation with our manager. She gives us the stats that we asked her for, how she's managing the business. But you got to put that time in when you first start. No matter what you're building, you have to put that time in. If it was easy, everybody would do it. If it was easy, every single person would be able to do it. And we know that's not the case.
No, that's definitely not the case, man. I mean, again, like you got to get there. And I mean, like that's a blessing. Me 5 years in the game, y'all reached 7 figures now. I mean, like that's goals, you know. Like
listen. Me and Janoka was talking about that earlier. We didn't hit 100K until we were in month 14.
Yeah.
Oh,
so almost double the time that you've been in business. That's when we hit our 6 figures. I think it's month. Yeah, it might have been month 14, maybe 14.
It definitely wasn't in a year.
It wasn't in a year.
We think we was at 75.
So 12 months is a year. It had to be at least 2 to 3 months after that. So 14 to 15 months. Almost double the time you've been in business.
I didn't know that. That's kind of crazy.
So you're going to get to where we are within half the time.
But that is, I mean, essentially that's the goal anyway, right? Because when we started, we didn't have anyone to kind of follow. We had Google and YouTube, right? And kind of winging it. So with us presenting the course to people, we package it together. So the goal is for our students to be ahead of us, right? That's a good thing. There's no excuse, right? You should be ahead because you have all the information and you just got to stick it through. But one thing that you said, I'm like,
for me, so I appreciate it.
One thing that you said was like in January, you're like, I was just watching the videos here and there.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like you said, you could have been further. People are like, I don't have the time. I don't have this. You just was watching it here and there. You still were able to get it up, let's say 2 months, if you will, to get your business up in 2 months.
Right.
So if you could dedicate whatever amount of time, you probably can get it up in a month. Because that's the question we get all the time. How long does it take to get it up and running? And I'm like, I don't know you. How long you going to take
to
get it up and running?
Like, I mean, like if you really put your mind to it, you could probably get it up and running in like 1 to 2 weeks, to be honest. Like
and we've had people say that.
The blueprint is right there for you. It was just that I was like focusing on like 9 to 5, and then I wanted to like do other stuff. Just life was happening, you know what I mean? But if I really would have sat there and like watched the videos, I mean, like y'all make the videos entertaining. They're obviously informative. I was taking notes on the side. I mean, I probably could have had everything up and running within like 2 weeks, but I kind of like waited, but I still got it up and running. Maybe like 7 weeks later, I still had it up and running. So, we're still here. So.
How'd you find your first contractor?
ZipRecruiter?
So I was on ZipRecruiter. So so I started the course, I got everything set up. And then when it came to actually hiring a contractor, I was on ZipRecruiter for about a week. But ZipRecruiter, so it's like $30, $40 a day, right? And they'll send you like 20 people a day. But again, like it was the quality of people that I was getting. They would answer all the questions and it all sounded good on paper. But when we actually started talking to them, it's like they ain't got no experience, they ain't got no supplies, they ain't got no phone, no reliable transportation. I was like, dude, like why are we even here, right? So honestly, this is so funny because someone just asked me this, like, how did I find my first contractor? So I actually have been doing really well on Craigslist, right? And I was not trying to use Craigslist because about 10 years ago, I saw a movie called The Craigslist Killer.
That was from his school, Albany, New York. Actually,
that was from my college. The Craigslist Killer went to my college.
Did he really?
Yeah.
University of Albany. Shout out to UA. That's one of our claims to fame. And we have the #1 party school in the country. So it makes sense to have a killer come from there.
Not a killer.
I saw the movie The Craigslist Killer, and I was like, man, I don't know if that's where I need to be finding people. You know what I mean?
But that's 10 years ago, like you said.
Yeah, that was about 10 years ago. So anyway, I made a job post, and it was something basic, like looking for cleaning, start immediately. This is what you can like potentially make if you like work 5 days a week, blah, blah, whatever. Just some stuff just to like attract attention. And I think if I posted the job post on Friday, I think by Sunday or maybe like Monday, I think I had like 4 or 5 people that had applied, right? Mm-hmm. And they had experience, they had references, they had been cleaning for some time, they actually had liability insurance, So I was like, oh, maybe this isn't that bad after all. So I was still a little nervous, but I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, look, you can sit around on it, or you can just actually like get up and get it done. So I went ahead and like, talked to them, interviewed them, went through the whole process that you talk about in the course. And I, hired these people, and you know, at least I hired one of them, and you know, we went from there.
Got it.
No, that's dope. That's super dope. And while we're gonna take a quick commercial break, we want to say if you're watching this video on YouTube, please like the video. When you like the video, it helps YouTube kind of push the video out. I should have did this. I should have did this 20 minutes ago, but we got in the conversation.
You was rushing getting started. I told you to wait till people came in.
So like the video so that YouTube say, okay, this is a dope conversation that people need to hear. So make sure you like the video
and subscribe to us.
And subscribe to the YouTube page. And shout out to Melanin Money. They have amazing shirts. Black Brilliant Billionaires in the Making. MelaninMoney.com. They are sponsors of the Hard Rock Hustle podcast. You can use the code HUSTLE for 15% off for your gear. All right, let's get back to it.
Yeah.
A little commercial. We got to pay the bills sometimes. You got to pay the bills. So you get, all right, we're going to go through the story. So you get your first contractor, and you said that we said always be hiring. So how was your first?
No, there's two things that I was going to call him out on. He said that we said always be hiring, but he's like, it can't be that hard. And he said, I'm going to try Craigslist, even though we say don't put all your eggs in one basket and do Craigslist. So y'all just be doing what y'all want. Let's be clear. The information is in there.
I want a little rogue, you know.
The information is in there, but people do what they want and then come back and be like, it ain't working. Is it?
So at this point, the website is done. You have your first contractor. At this point, I'm assuming you start marketing your business.
Yeah, started marketing the business. I can't remember everything that you said about where to market, but you know, we talked about like social media and you know, Yelp, and I think there was like Google ads were in there as well. So I started marketing the business. And just ironically, I was getting a lot of hits, right? More than what I could handle because I only had one contractor, right? That I was working with. So, but we had gotten maybe like, and this is, you know, at the time I was like, oh, I've made it. You know, I maybe had like 10 phone calls in like a week. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh shoot. Like,
do you know where they were finding you from?
Google local services.
Okay.
I also had Yelp going, and then also like, I had Thumbtack. Wouldn't.
Yeah, you know, they're shaky.
Yeah, you know, like that's kind of expensive for what you're really getting. But I mean, like Thumbtack was there as well, and I did get some bookings from Thumbtack. So I actually think my very first booking was from Thumbtack, right?
Okay.
Again, here goes another thing that y'all said do, but I didn't really do it. I was kind of just like, I'm gonna do my own thing. I did not do a proper like market analysis for the area, so my numbers were all the way messed up. So I think my first cleaning, it was this young lady in the city. She wanted like a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom. She had like an office. She had like 3 dogs or something like that, and I quoted her like super low, you know, because I remember in the course, you know, y'all talking about like underbid a little bit. So I was like, yeah, I underbid a little bit,
not $20, not cut your price in half.
Like she got it, like it was robbery of what I charged her, you know. Like my contract was even like, you sure you're doing this? You know, like what's up with you? And I was just like,
you sure you know what you're doing?
I was like, I mean, like, you know, maybe like we here, right? So it was crazy, like robbery. But you know, the funny thing is, like, she's actually still a customer today. And I actually had a conversation with her, maybe like around April timeframe, May timeframe. Was like, look, I'm gonna be real with you. You got a big house, right? Like, we're gonna have to come up a little bit, maybe a lot of it, you know, because I don't even want to tell y'all what I charged her, but I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it was less than $200, right?
Wow.
For this house. And it was a deal.
Did the contractor say anything about it? What did or no?
The contractor definitely mentioned like this is kind of like low, and I was like, you know, just go in there, like wipe some stuff down, like you'll be good, right? Like, you know, it's funny, like she. You know, bless her heart. Like she stuck with me for a long time. You know what I mean? But you know, she went in there and she knocked it out. And like I said, like that customer that for my first house, they're still with me today. And we clean the house every day now. So
every week.
Every week.
Okay, you said every day. I'm like, what's going on in the house? Every week. Sometimes you got kids. I can do a cleaning every day.
And we got to talk about the power of that recurring income. We talk about this all the time. If you get these good clients and you keep them on the schedule, he's cleaning a house every single week. We've had Mary, we told the story of Mary multiple times where Mary's been with us for 4 years now.
Yeah.
And we clean the house every single week for 4 years.
Wow.
That's the power of that recurring income. Imagine if you had about 10, 15, imagine if you had 100 Marys and that's it on your
I
schedule.
mean, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's one of my goals now. I mean, I'm sure we'll get into it, but yeah, that's one of my goals. It's like ensure that that recurring income is like higher than what it is like right now. But I mean, because that's how you reach like the financial freedom. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
if you ain't got to like really do much and like you already have like X amount of dollars just in recurring funds, not even like the one time people, not even
Mm-hmm.
like commercial. If you're doing commercial Airbnbs, if you just talking about the recurring income, if you can get that to be like a six-figure number per se, I mean, like you're killing it, you know.
Yeah, that's the goal. So did she just decide to book weekly, or was it like you called her after? Like, what's your process when you get that booking, and like what's the process from getting the booking to completion?
So, like I said, she found me on Thumbtack, and in
Okay.
the system in Launch 27, right? Like I have it set up to where like your very first cleaning is going to be a deep clean, and then everything else after that is a standard cleaning, right? So the deep cleaning price was like crazy low, right? At least lower than what it should have been for a 5 bedroom, 4 bathroom house, right? So she probably thought to herself, like, shoot, like this is so low. Like I could probably get a cleaning every 3 days if I really want to, right? She booked the deep cleaning. We did a good job. My cleaner, bless her heart. Like I felt so bad afterward that I gave her like 80% of like the revenue from that clean,
That's a
just
good
because
call.
I was like, you need to make some more money for all the stuff that you had to do. And they had a lot of pet hair as well. Like, yeah, you can have all of that, right? So we did a good job. She killed it. She left us a 5-star review. And then she was like, "Oh, okay. So, like, what's your recurring policy? Your recurring policy?" I explained it to her, and she's been on ever since. But she's just like a really good customer. She's chill. We have like a somewhat of a good relationship now, to the point where whenever I do bring on a new contractor, I actually say, "Hey, her name, like, I have a new contractor, I want you to I'm going to let her clean your house, and I want you to give me some feedback on, are they good? Did they miss anything? What can they work on? How do your floors look? Check behind, like, this, check your baseboard, stuff like that." So, it's kind of like you said, like when you build good relationships with these people, like they'll take care of you. And she's one of them, she's really taking care of us. So.
That's great.
No, I want to talk about that for a quick second. So you got a client that you built a relationship with. So that means your customer service is pretty decent.
We're doing all right. We're good.
So I want to talk about the bad experiences. I want to talk about a customer that you got or you had previously, and you were like, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what to do. And I know there had to be a time where you either went off, a negative review, or because everything sounds good right now. I want to hear some of the bad a little bit.
I got some stories if you really need.
Yeah, we all got stories. people are crazy.
Yeah, so what was the worst experience you've had so far? Because I feel like that's very important, because when you get that bad experience, you feel like it can't get any worse than this. And if I've gone through this, then everything else should be easy.
Yeah, I mean, man, I can think of like at least 3 or 4 of them off the top of my head where it's just like, no matter what I could have done, it would not have pleased this person. Like it was just no coming back from it, right? So there was this one time, this happened like maybe 2 or 3 months ago. We had like this young lady, she wanted a deep clean. And really, it was our fault because, I'd warned or told my contractor maybe like three days in advance of like the impending clean they had coming up, right? They were still late, right? I think the clean was supposed to be scheduled at like the arrival window was between 8 and 10, right? They, for whatever reason, and this is just another issue that we have with contractors every now and then, is they didn't get to that job till like maybe 10:30 or something like that. So when they arrive, the customer's already a little hostile, right? They're like, "Yo, I've been waiting since 8 o'clock."
Right, number one.
Yeah, they're already a little hostile. They've been waiting since 8 o'clock, even though like in the booking it says like, look, like this time is just an arrival window. We all know that a lot of customers aren't really reading these quotes thoroughly, right? I can explain everything, services, cancellation policy, whatever the case may be. They are not reading it. So we had this this window. They were like 30 minutes late from that window. And then when we get there, the house is like way dirtier than like we had expected.
Always.
Like, it's always, because
always.
I'm not going to tell you that I just got like crazy stuff happening in the background in my house, right? But like, oh no, my house isn't even that bad. You know what I mean? Like, no, you shouldn't charge me that much, right? So anyways, we get there, the house is crazy bad, right? And it's just like one cleaner, right? So she was probably a little bit overwhelmed. Anyway, she did what she could. It wasn't good enough, right? So the customer calls me. She's
Like,
like,
so
this is a scam. What kind of business are you running? Like, this person was supposed to clean X, Y, and Z. Like, you have this on your service list, and I can wipe my finger across and I still see dust. I'm just like, dude, like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, my bad. I apologize. I try to take full responsibility for it. Um, I offered to do a reclaim. She wasn't having it. I was like, I can give you a partial refund. She was like, oh no, I need a full refund because X, Y, and Z. And I was like, well, you did a walkthrough, and initially you had said that everything was okay, and now you're calling me back like an hour or two later saying that you walked through the house and now you're upset. Like, you did a walkthrough. Like, what you want me to do? So I offered to give her partial clean. She wasn't feeling it, so we were going back and forth for at least like an hour. She was like, I'm gonna report you to the Better Business Bureau. You need to refund me my money. Like, God's not gonna bless you. I was like,
oh God, we
always
gotta bring God
in
in.
there. I don't know why everybody be bringing God in there. He probably be at home like, why y'all bothering me?
God looking at you like, girl, ain't nobody worried about you. So yeah, it was like nothing I could do was make it right. So I was like, look, ma'am, I apologize. I've tried to work with you, but it seems like there's nothing I can do. So I mean, like, this is where I probably could have handled it better. But I was like, look, do what you got to do. You know what I mean?
You pulled the Tony.
That's definitely
do what you got. I was like, you're probably gonna, even if I were to give you a refund, you're probably gonna leave me a 1-star review anyway. So I mean, like, just do what you got to do. So, anyways, she left a 1-star review, and at the time, my rating was still a 5.0. Like, we had like maybe 25 reviews or something like that, and all of them were 5-star reviews. So luckily, that 1-star didn't hurt that bad. But I mean, like, every now and then, you're just gonna get customers that you just can't please, right? There's just nothing you can do to like make it happen. You can refund money. You can send 20 people to go re-clean their house. When they've made up in their mind that they're upset, they're just gonna be upset. So
that's people in general, right? Because then people kind of like join and say like, I'm scared of getting a bad review. I'm like, well, if that's stopping you from starting a business, don't start.
Listen,
you're gonna get a bad review.
Don't get into this business because
don't get into or any service-based business.
Don't get into any service business. But it's almost like every week, every 2 weeks, like we're dealing with like some difficult customer. Maybe they're not threatening to like leave a 1-star review, but I mean, like, it's just that nothing you do will please them. Like, we had some customer calls just last week and they were like, my house is perfect, but you didn't lift up like the stove and like wipe under it. I'm just like,
stove?
What?
You got Incredible Hulk like in your house? Like,
I ain't picking that up.
What?
My cleaners are Incredible Hulks.
Yeah.
I did.
Like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? And she actually wanted a full refund. I was like, so we've cleaned your baseboards, your windows, fridge, oven, ceiling fan. She was just like, the service just isn't what was advertised. Like, I deserve something. And I'm just like, are we serious? I was like, you're not getting a refund. You know what I mean? God bless you. You know what I mean? So
people are very entitled.
Yeah, it's always something with that. What'd you say?
And so right now, are you still answering your own phone or do you have a VA?
I got 2 people actually. So I tried out a virtual assistant in about May. So so fast forward. So started the business in March. And then in May, NASA was essentially like, hey, I got to come back. You know what I mean? At least like 2 days a week. So I couldn't, answer phone calls while I'm in the office. So I thought to myself, well, I probably need to get a virtual assistant, right? So I hired on someone. It didn't work out. And the story behind that was just that, I didn't really know what I needed or wanted in a virtual assistant. For some reason, I just assumed that they're going to come on to the business and they're just going to know what to do, right? This person had been like a property manager before. So I just assumed like, oh, you got a property manager. You know how it is to like handle business and cleans and stuff like that. They didn't really have the experience for this, so it didn't really work out. But now I have 2 receptionists that answer phone calls for me. They're amazing, right? Not only do they answer phone calls, they interface with the customer. Whenever there are issues, they talk to the customers for me on my behalf. They're booking people. They're setting everybody up in the system. They're actually calling people after the cleaning just to follow up, just to make sure that we've done what we needed to do. They're ensuring that there are no issues, right? And if there are, they let me know immediately so that we can try to remedy the situation. So yeah, now I have 2 people.
Okay.
So you're starting to outsource yourself out the business at month 8, which is where we want you to get. so that you could go back and focus on your 9 to 5, like because the 9 to 5 funds your business funds your lifestyle, and the rest of the funds. So,
and have you ever had to clean a home yourself? Have you ever done any face-to-face stuff?
Never had to clean a home for myself. Not that I'm above cleaning a house. I mean,
I am.
that's just haven't had to do that. Again, like I hired
Mhm.
contracts to do that for me. So, and I'm blessed right now to where we have 7 or 8 contractors on the team. So we have more than enough people. And no, I've never had to actually go out there and clean a house. It's all, I run everything from my laptop.
with
Okay.
7 to 8 contractors, how many cleanings a week you would say?
The best week that we've had, and again, I just got 7, 8 contract. We had about
Okay.
5 for maybe like 2 or 3 months, and then recently we kind of got busy, so we hired on some more people. I think the most we've ever had in a week was 19.
Oh wow.
Which is that's decent for us. That's almost like 4 a day ish. So
Yeah.
even this week, as of today, we're at 11 bookings, and we still
Oh,
have
congratulations.
4 tomorrow, and then we have 3 on Saturday as well. So, it's slowly, we're slowly, getting to those numbers. I mean, I ain't like y'all yet, but like we're
Listen,
Don't
we,
compare your chapter
we,
1 to my chapter 20.
yeah,
we
well,
are definitely.
that's another thing. That's another thing that I want to talk about is like, when I first started on, like I did find myself, not just to y'all, but just like other people that were in the course that were like, 2 years in, a year in, that were like doing crazy numbers. And I was like, man, like I'm just getting like 3 cleanings a week. You know what I mean? So I
Gotta
mean,
start somewhere.
you got to start somewhere. But there's one thing that I learned. I saw this on another podcast. This one guy, they were asking him like, how was he able to be like so successful? And he said his motto was stay low and keep firing. Right? Like, so it's like keep your head down. Keep doing what you got to do. Poke your head up every now and then just to like check the temperature. But it's essentially like stay low, keep doing what you got to be. What you got to do. So that's been my motto
Mhm.
ever since. Stay low and keep
And that's the
firing.
thing. I say you can't fail in this business if you don't quit. I don't feel like you can fail at anything if you don't quit. But this business is so it's so streamlined. If you just keep going, yeah, you're gonna have those hard clients. Yes, you're gonna have those hard days. Yes, you may have a hard month. We say all the time we want to quit in right where you are. We were like we're gonna quit.
Mhm.
But if you keep going, there's no way that you could fail.
But that's kind of what entrepreneurship is, right? You know what I mean? That is and having a business, things go up and down. It is not consistent the way you would say your 9 to 5 is. I'm constantly getting paid $5,000 a month. That ain't what entrepreneurship or businesses are. There's times you're gonna get paid 30,000, and there's times you may get paid 2. So, and there's times you may be in the negative. It is what it is. I mean,
We've
let's
been
be
in the
honest.
negative.
Don't start a business if you ain't gonna be real with yourself
Yeah.
about what it looks like. So, if you don't mind, I think you've mentioned saying that you're on Yelp and GLS and Google Ads. How much marketing dollars are you putting in? If you don't mind stating that.
Yeah, so I've cut back on Yelp, but I mean, like the most that I've put in Yelp, I think was $1,000 was the budget.
Okay.
In GLS, my budget is crazy, right? And I read somewhere where they were talking about like having a higher budget essentially notifies Google that like you can take on more business. So my GLS budget, at least in the system, is like 20K or something like that. But I mean, like weekly, we're probably spending about maybe $800 a week, maybe like $1,000 a week on in GLS as well. So maybe not 1,000. I'd say like monthly. When they get the monthly statement, I think I'm spending about $1,600 to $1,700 a month on GLS, and then
Oh, not
yeah,
bad at all.
the most that I've had to spend on Yelp was $1,000, but I think I've set my budget now to be about 500. I've kind of lowered it because I'm doing better on Google Local Services than I am on Yelp right now. So
Right.
I definitely.
So you're at an average at about, I think you're saying maybe like 24, let's say 2,500 a month on marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing your
Yeah.
business.
So, I didn't answer your question. Yeah, about 2,500.
No, you did. I added it.
My bad.
So with the marketing, now you're at the point where on average, like what's your revenue a month?
We are doing. We're always above 10,000,
Okay.
but I'd say we're probably between 12 and 13,000 a month right now. The best month that we've had, we did 19, and that was in May. So about March, April, about 3 months after we started, we had 19,000, which was
Ciao.
yeah, it was crazy.
I don't know
But
what
yeah,
happened in May.
I'm gonna take this part as a testimonial as well. 3 months in the business.
3 months in the business, yeah, we did. Yeah, 3 months in, we did 19. So it was 4 months in, I was at 50K, and that's when I started thinking like, maybe financial independence is a real thing. You know what I mean? Like maybe I can get there. So
So
That's great.
so yeah, I'd say between like 12 and like 13,000 a month right now. Obviously we're trying to like, grow that number to be closer to like 20,000, but right now I'd
You
say
get
about
there.
13,000.
Sorry, you keep saying we. Who else do you run the business with?
I don't know why I keep saying it's really just me. So
well, he has
You mean like when you're speaking to clients, you always say we, and I'll let the manager know and things like
sorry.
that.
Because I include my staff in there because it definitely
Uh-huh.
takes a village. So it's
Okay.
I have 2 receptionists. I have an assistant that handles like social media and stuff like that. So it's really 4 of us that are working, but I'm the owner. So when it comes to I'm just the owner. You know what I mean? I have people that will do other stuff like run the operation of the business like the day to day when I'm unable to do that, but it's just me.
Okay.
Can you talk about how'd you find your help? Because I know finding good help is hard for everyone. So how'd you find the help to help you run a business?
It's funny. Actually, my mom actually put me on with somebody.
Oh wow.
I how do I say this? So again, like I had a VA, and it didn't really work out that well. And I don't really feel like she knew exactly what I was like needing to run the business. So I was actually thinking about like hiring another like virtual assistant agency, but I ended up not doing that and just ended up going with someone that I personally knew. Well, 2 people that I personally knew, like family friends, essentially.
Oh, okay.
So
So they're stateside. Are they're in the United States?
yeah, they're here. Yeah, they're
Okay.
here. Yeah, they're here.
They
They're
said
here.
he went with 2 people that he knew.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Are they friends or family?
Yeah.
I know we hit a stigma about we don't like working with each other. So how'd you get past that?
Listen,
Because I would love to bring friends and family into the business, but because like I don't want to mix the two. So how are you managing that?
I'll be honest, like
Because they got to see your numbers. They know what you're doing. They know what you're making. So how do you? It's different.
I'm just gonna put it out there because we're talking about it now. So like I've, let my mom be a part of like the business now because she's seen like how I guess resilient, maybe good we are doing or whatever. So I've kind of like let her in and like, I love my mom to death. She's probably watching this right now because I definitely sent her the link. So mom, I love you.
So is my mom.
Shout out to the moms, man. They're the backbones of everything we do.
I love my mom to death, but she's very opinionated, and she definitely thinks that she runs the business as well. So she tries to like give me pointers and tell me exactly what I need to be doing. And she'll, whenever there are issues, she'll type up a whole message, be like, you should send this out right now. And I was like, Mom, like this is not your business. Like, relax.
She's excited about it.
She's excited about it, right? So, but she's a confidant, she's my mother. I know she has my best interest in mind. But you're right, like it's been tough. And I will say this, just going back to when I wanted to hire people. So even though I live in Alabama, I actually run my business out of Memphis, Tennessee, right? We are just starting to expand into Huntsville, Alabama.
Let's go.
So you're opening your second
location, yeah.
Second location. There we go. Our students are killing it with this. We still in one location.
But y'all killing it in Dallas though, but
still.
But so the reason why I started off in Memphis was because I wanted originally, like I said, I have family members that are already in the janitorial / like home cleaning business, right? So my first thought was I want to hire people or hire like family members. I was like, they could probably use some more work. And, I don't have to like go through the struggles of finding like contractors, getting on ZipRecruiter, meeting like, a murderer like on the Craigslist or something like that. So
doing this Craigslist.
So the original thought was open up in Memphis, which is only about 2.5 hours away from Huntsville. So if I ever really need to do something, like if I ever really need to get to Memphis, I can do that. It's really like down the street, right? But again, it didn't work out for various reasons. And I found out quickly that, even though they're family, they may not always be the most reliable people. There's no shade to them. They got other stuff going on. They got families. They got their own businesses that they're trying to run as well. and it just didn't work out. So that kind of like didn't leave, it wasn't like a sore spot, but I definitely thought to myself, like, you know what, maybe hiring family isn't like the best thing. But again, like recently, I just kind of like brought, you know, my mom on the team, and, you know, two other people that are like really close to me. And you know, it's been a really good experience. But I mean, like, you know, every now and then, I'm pretty sure my mom's gonna call me. I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, so you talking about me now?" Like,
We don't know her personally, so it's okay.
Moms is always
yeah,
listening.
always listening. But you know, it's been a good experience. But again, like, I'm not sure if I would recommend it for everyone. It really just depends on your circumstance. So for me, it's
Mhm.
worked out. But I mean, for, you know, at the beginning of this journey, it didn't work out for me when it came to family. I didn't really want to hire people, but you know, it's been a good experience thus far.
And you had mentioned that at the beginning you didn't follow like the competitors' research, so your pricing was lower.
Love
So
that.
now is your pricing higher or average for
Oh
your
yeah.
area, or is it
Oh no, we're above everyone else. I'll put it that way. You
you're
know,
above everyone else?
yeah, I'd say like we started off extremely low, and then I kind of got in this pattern where I was like changing the price like every other week, which I didn't really
So
want to do.
I was gonna say speak on that because I see students in the community kind of like, oh, I have this price, I'm gonna change it again because I'm not getting anyone. And in my head, I'm like, no, 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 wait a second,
Yeah,
give it a week, give it a month.
yeah,
But
give it
yeah,
some time, because you know you
yeah,
never really
yeah,
know. Like you have to give it some time. So again,
that's
like
it.
my prices were extremely low, like extremely low, right? So I did have to move them up a little bit just so that we could be somewhat profitable, because I'm paying for ads, you know, the
Mm-hmm.
website, the CRM, all this stuff. You have to at least make something, right? You got to pay people, so you have to do something. But I mean, like the whole changing your prices every other week, every 2 weeks, like that's just not going to get you anywhere fast. It's going to confuse the customer. You're going to get
Mm-hmm.
confused. You know, it's just not a
Yeah.
good situation. So
Yeah.
I had to really go back and do like my market analysis and see like what everyone else was doing. And I kind of maybe dropped my price maybe within like $5 of them. So even if like I wasn't the first place they clicked on, if they just happened to be just shopping around, I always had confidence in my customer service skills that even if like I may, you know, even if your website looks better than mine, I don't really care about that. Like if I can get you on the phone and we can have a conversation, I know for a fact I can get that sell. That's not really a
Mm-hmm.
problem. So 8 months in, now we're probably about, you know, 40, $50 a little bit higher than the competition. And that's okay because we guarantee our service, right? Like the people that were answering the phones, the contracts that I have, I'm fully confident in what we're able to do in our business. So I mean, like, sure, we're not the cheapest, we don't want your business then. You know what I mean? If you're only worried about
Period.
the price, then that's really not something that we're concerned about. I mean, like, look, you don't walk into the Gucci store and say that bag is a little bit too high. Like, you should bring that down a little bit. Like, no, like you pay the
Period.
price or you keep it moving, right?
Treat me
So
like Gucci and Louis. I'm not Walmart. Treat me like Gucci and
Exactly.
Louis.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
go where you.
Knowing your
Yeah,
target audience.
yeah.
what are you talking about? So again, like that's the perfect thing. Like if you're, you know, if we're charging like $150 for a one bed, one bath, and you said that that's too high, I'm sorry, like, you're not our, you know, that's not the type of customer that we're really shooting for. We don't want someone who's just going to be like, you know, nagging about price, because those are the type of customers that are going to be calling saying like, you forgot to like, you know,
Yep.
wipe the underside of my fridge. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you talking about? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, so once I did the market analysis, I brought my prices up a little bit, and then now I've only changed my price maybe like 3 times since I started the business, right? Even though
Mhm.
I'm always looking to see what other people are charging, I've only modified mine maybe like 3 or 4 times. But now we're definitely above like the competition per se. And
Mm-hmm.
again, if you don't choose us because our prices are too high, you're not the customer that we're really looking for.
Nah, I
That's
mean,
it.
that's super dope. So we got you. We're almost an hour in. I want to
Oh,
kind
I
of.
had one more.
Oh, go ahead.
I have one more question before we even open it to questions.
Sure. Yeah.
If you have time for us,
Oh yeah.
you've
Oh yeah.
mentioned the biggest challenge being cleaners, which we always talk about as well. Is there anything else you would say was the biggest challenge with the business?
The cleaners was definitely the probably the number one. Honestly, getting out of my own way too sometimes, you know,
Okay.
Mm,
analysis paralysis, and you know, like kind
Mm-hmm.
of doubting myself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because again, like, there were, there, just about every other week, I've kind of been like, is this really for me? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
just getting in my own way and doubting my own ability. I will say that like owning a cleaning business has like taken my problem solving skills to like another level. But I mean, like initially, it was just doubting myself. Like, can I really do this? You know what I mean? And that probably came from like, I'm showing my hand a little bit, but probably from comparing myself to other people that have taken the course and are doing so well. I thought to myself, well, dang, like, they're doing this, but why am I not doing that? So I really had to learn to, stay low and keep firing and really run my own race. But after that, hiring the right type of people, not just hiring anyone at that. Because I mean, like,
You get desperate sometimes.
sometimes, and I've been desperate to where I've been like, dude, I got like 15 cleanings coming up, and I got 2 cleaners. Something's got to
Yeah.
shake. You know
Something
what I
got to
mean?
give.
Something's gotta
Exactly.
give.
Something
So
got to
I've
give.
made the mistake of hiring people that I didn't necessarily. It's like in the back of my head, really, when I got like one complaint about them, I knew I should have probably like dealt with the issue. But I was like, we still got 10 more cleaners for the week. I gotta let them stay on. That's never a good idea because I ended up like having to refund money, and then like, people are like disputing charges in the car, which you never win those. Like, at least I've never won one of those before. So it's
Mhm.
definitely been hiring, getting out of my own way. Um, I'd say those are probably like the two. Yeah. Hiring the right people, having good, reliable cleaners that you can trust, and then just, yeah, like believing in my own abilities.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
this has been super amazing. You hit 100K in 8 months. You're on average about 10 to 12,000 dollars a month. You
That's
got a
amazing.
team now. You got a staff. What is next for your cleaning business? What is next for your NASA career? Like, are you gonna leave NASA
Not
and go
yet.
go
Not
into
with just
cleaning business full time, or keep
100K.
saying? 'Cause I want to know like where you at. Like, what's the next goal for you
Yeah, with the
in your
Yeah,
business.
so like
business?
I said, so we hit 100K. A lot of good things have been happening this week. So we hit 100K. We launched our rocket yesterday. It's the Bros Founders Day. It's been a really good week for us. So I'm extremely blessed and I'm thankful for the staff that I have. So for me now, my main focus is to get our second location up and running. We're in the process of getting Google local services set up. So, you have to get like the 5 reviews, and we've already been approved for our insurance, up to $1 million. We've gotten our background check. So really, we're in the process of hiring people. I put out the Craigslist job post on Sunday, and I think I've had 5 people apply for positions for the Huntsville location. So we're getting that up and running, which is going to be like my main focus probably for the next month or so. And then also, the next goal that I have is we talked about this briefly about the recurring income. So I think I had about, let's just say like maybe 65,000 in one-time cleanings, and the recurring was 30,000 ish. My goal
Mhm.
now is to see how can I expand or how can I grow that recurring income from 30,000 to 100,000 per se, right? Because again, like that's where like that's where you're trying to be. That's where the goal is, right? Is in those recurring cleanings. So it's going to be getting the second location up, getting the recurring cleanings to just grow that revenue. And then with NASA, definitely still working at NASA. I don't see myself quitting anytime soon. But I mean, let's say we get the second location or the second location up, we do, I don't know, double, of what we're doing right now, then I don't think I'd still leave NASA, but I definitely think to myself, like, hey, they better start talking nice to me though,
You walk in different.
Listen, we always talk about our goal is just to give people options. So you
Yeah.
have the option to make a decision
Yeah.
if you decide to one day say, I don't want to be here anymore. You have the
Yeah.
option to make a decision and say, I want to do something else. So that's
Yeah.
that's our goal to help people
Well,
get
so
options. So
like my goal when I first started the business wasn't to like reach financial like freedom or whatever you want to call it. I wasn't thinking that far in advance of this will be something that I can do to where like I don't have to work anymore. Like it sounds nice, and yeah, it would be cool, but that really wasn't what I was thinking. I just wanted something just so I could take an extra vacation a year. Like
that's it. You got to
I
start
was just
somewhere.
trying to go on an extra vacation with working as an engineer, like I've been super busy. I've maybe taken 3 vacations in my entire life, right? So I thought to myself, like, dude, like if I could just have some extra spending money just to go somewhere, like that would be dope, And then I started getting the business, and like I said, like within 3.5, 4 months, we had hit 50K, and I thought to myself, like, oh well, maybe my goals need to change a little bit. Maybe I don't need to just focus on like the vacation. Maybe I need to do something else. So I haven't taken 1 cent from the business. Everything that we've made has just been, I've just reinvested it back into the business, at least for this first year. Maybe in like year two, I know y'all talk about it in the course about taking like a small percentage. Maybe in my second year, I'll do that. But this first year, I'm still learning the systems, building systems to begin with so that it can run more efficiently. I'm trying to remove myself like a little, like, week by week from the actual, the business day to day, which is also something that I'm going to be focusing on. And then, like I said, if we can get the second location up and running and, we do 150 next year in the second location and we still do like 100 plus in the Memphis location, like I said, I probably wouldn't quit NASA that year, but like, talk nice to me though,
We're building. We're building.
No, man, this has been super inspirational, man. So we're going to take a few questions if you got a couple moments. We had the community ask some questions. We got some people from our Cleaning Business University community here. You guys don't know, we have a course that teaches you how to launch and scale a six-figure cleaning business, which is actually on sale right now at cleaningbusinessuniversity.com. Listen, you guys can get that. Black Friday sale. Y'all know Janoka does not do discounts. And if you didn't know that, now you know. So this
maybe you guys haven't been around long enough. I haven't been on live in a while, so they may not know that, babe.
Maybe they don't know that.
Putting
but
my
listen,
business out there.
Janoka does not like discounts because we know the power of learning this business and how to grow and scale. So that link is right there. Go check that out.
Okay, no, I was gonna copy it.
All right, so I'm gonna go through a few questions.
If we answered the question, we're not going to repeat it. You probably jumped on late, so you'll see it at some point.
Somebody did ask this question. So in order for Google local services to get live, did you have to have a certain amount of reviews?
You do. You have to have 5 reviews, I believe now. I don't know when I first started on Google local services, I think it might have been lower. It might have been like 3. But now to get started, you need 5 things. You need to have Google Ads set up so you can they can bill your credit card or whatever. You have to have insurance up to 400,000, I believe, on your insurance. You have to pass a background check, and you have to have 5 reviews. So
okay. Somebody asked, your website was up and running before you had your contractors. I think you answered that, but
Yep, I did. The website, if you follow the course like how y'all have it set up, I mean, that's one of the first things that y'all go through. Like maybe like the first or second chapter is, you have the theme street, you buy the template and everything, and they go ahead and set it up for you. So now granted, even here goes another thing that I did wrong. I spent way too much time trying to modify my website. Like
you're just striking out. This is about the 5th, 6th thing you said that you
at some point it's not our template anymore. It's not our blueprint. It's your own at this point. It's like you did your own thing.
I did, finagle. I definitely stepped outside. I came back though because we hear it now, but
I came back though.
I was like, man, I could skip some stuff.
I think one of the challenges is that people think it's too good to be true. It's too simple. It's too easy to be true. So we kind of say, you know what? I'm gonna skip this step. Or you know what? I don't need that. When actuality, yes, it is this easy. It does take time to do so.
And you need what we said you need.
You're right.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's things that we say, obviously, is your business. You can go on and do like you did. It's your business, so you can do it. But we giving information for a reason,
No, absolutely. All the information is vital. It wasn't until after I messed up when I had to go back and be like, what did they say about this?
What they say about that?
My bad.
That's funny.
But yeah, no, I had the website up and running. It didn't take long, maybe within a week. And but then my problem was I spent time modifying and putting certain things, and I was looking at other people's websites to see what they had, and I was kind of stealing stuff from that. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, you need an online presence, obviously. So you need a website. But I probably spent 3 weeks just getting the color schemes right and proofreading it dozens of times. You just don't need to do all of that. You just need to get the website up there and go from there.
So
If
speaking
you
about
ever
that,
think that websites matter, go to BerkshireHathaway.com and look at their website, and then tell them this is
Websites matter.
a Fortune like 5 company. Go to their
Fortune
website.
5, not 500, not 100, Fortune
This is a
5.
Fortune 5 company, right? Go to their website and then let me know what you think about websites.
That looks like an outdated WordPress template with
It's
just
so
with just
crazy.
words on it.
It's just hyperlinks.
No pictures, no
That ain't
images.
it ain't stopping their money though. That's the biggest
They
thing.
money. They're making like $300 billion a year.
So
Like,
somebody
we don't care.
asked, how long did it take to get your first booking after you got your first contractor? You got your first contractor. How long did you
Like
take to
2-3
get your first
weeks.
booking?
Yeah,
said
it
2-3
wasn't
weeks,
that long.
right?
I'd say like 2 weeks. I mean, like I got let's say like if I hired my contractor on Monday, I'd say like maybe 2 weeks from that Monday we had somebody. But again, like I was using a Thumbtack. Think what you want about Thumbtack. I personally would not recommend it, but I mean, like Thumbtack will send people your way. So we got our first like maybe 5 people from Thumbtack, and then after I saw how much money I was spending with QuickBooks, I was like, "Nah, we got to do something else."
So you use QuickBooks to manage like your books essentially.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, check my margins, see where we are, see what's coming in, what's going out, where we're losing money, what's our cash cow, stuff like that. So.
Okay. So somebody asked about, do you disclose the other contract? I don't think.
No, that's not relevant.
Do you use any strategies to get reviews from clients?
Yeah.
What do you feel like gets you the most reviews from clients? What strategy?
Well, doing a good job, first of all. So
that is number one.
Your cleaners have to do a good job, but also, I mean, like again, the people that I have on staff, like Southern hospitality, you know what I mean? Like I pride myself on giving the best experience for the customer, whether that's the actual clean or the follow-up, right? So we'll talk to you, to, let you know that like, look, your house is going to be in good hands with us. I brief my contractor before I send her out there. This is what this person wants. There's an emphasis on the floors, use vinegar and water on these hardwood floors, use X, Y, and Z. So I want to make sure that the experience is like extremely well for that. And then after that, my team will actually call the customer after and just go with them or go through with them, like, how the cleaning went. So with those conversations, I mean, like, we'll just kind of slide in there like, hey, if you feel like we did a good job, feel free to like leave us a 5-star review. But also, we've also done stuff where like we'll mark on social media where we'll say, book a cleaning with us, leave a review, we'll maybe give you like 5% off your next cleaning. You know what I mean? So there are like few strategies that you can use to like get more reviews. But essentially it all starts with you have to do a good job, right? Like you have to make sure that your team is doing a phenomenal job all around. And it's not just the clean. It's about like, the conversation when you're talking to this person, knowing your product, the actual clean. And then, like if you did everything right and hit all your marks, then go ahead and ask for that 5-star review. But again, like, we will put something out there that says like, leave us a 5-star review, get $10 off your next cleaning. And that normally brings a lot of people back as well. So
it's the experience for the client, not just the clean.
The experience, it's not just the actual clean. It's really the entire like experience, And even when we like, okay, so earlier this week or last week, we had an issue where one of our contractors had to call out late because, just family emergency or whatever the case may be, right? The customer called me initially, a little hostile. And, because like we answered the phone, we apologized, we took accountability. He said like, look, we're sorry. This is not how we run our business. We'll clean your house for free. We're not going to, we kind of left you in a bond. We're still going to take care of you because we had such a great experience. Even though like we were in the wrong, they still allowed us to get their business. They're a recurring customer now, and they still left a 5-star review, right?
Wait.
There you go.
Wait a minute. So you said you gave them a free clean?
Yeah.
So you gave them a free clean. They were pissed off. Because you messed up, which is fine. You gave them a free clean. You did a good job. They left you a 5-star review, and now they're recurring customers. So you took the L up front to make the long-term money.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like, it's not always about the initial sell, right? Like sometimes you got to like go south to get north. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to dip just to like really get to where you want to be. And that's what happened with us. So we definitely fumbled the ball in that situation. We took accountability for it. We apologized. We offered them a free clean. And she even called me and was like, "Look, like, you know, you did an amazing job, for the when this free clean. I'm so thankful for you. Like, how would you like to clean every week? You know,
Mm,
we are today. So
there it
you go.
is. So they said, how do you do a proper market analysis? I think you kind of mentioned that, but
It's in the course too.
it's also in Cleaning Business
Competitors
University. We teach you how to do competitors research, how to analyze your market, how to figure out how to price your services so that you can get the clients in, and also how to price your services later on too. So we talked about insurance and we talked about your website. So anything else you want to cover? What's one final piece of advice you want to leave with the people before you go tonight?
the main thing that I've had to learn, like I said, was really doubting myself. And again, like, you need to run your own race, right? Don't get caught up trying to, like, honestly, don't even get up trying to, like, chase some, like, dollar figure. Like, sure, like, I made 100K in like 8 months. And I mean, like, but I'm still getting started. I'm still making mistakes every single week, right? So I mean, like, you see the numbers, but I mean, like, you don't really see, like, literally the
Work.
grind that it took to get here, right? The late night hours, the stress, the anxiety, and people calling out. I mean, like, it's a hustle, right? And you got to put the hours in. So don't compare yourself to where other people are. Run your own race. Like I said, my motto is stay low and keep firing. Keep your head down, do the work, put in the hours, make sure that you have a good team, and the rest is history. Pray about it and you'll be good from there. But definitely don't get caught up in what other people are doing. Run your own race and you'll be good.
And that's it. Run your own race. Couldn't have wrapped it up any better than that. Jeremy, appreciate your time and congratulations on getting the business up and running and then launching in a second location, man. You're killing it.
Trying, man.
Thank you so much.
I'm trying to be like y'all, man. I appreciate y'all.
Run your own race, man. All right. You have a good night.
Y'all have a good one, man.
Take care. Thank you guys for joining us. We haven't done a testimonial Thursday in probably over a year at this point. I couldn't even tell you exactly when the last time was, but we used to do this often, and we have more of them on our Instagram page. However, our course is on sale right now. As he mentioned, we generally do not do a sale, but it is on sale right now. You can use that link to go ahead and purchase if you haven't already. You also can subscribe to our YouTube channel where we post tons of free information. We have a podcast, Hartzog Hustle Podcast. We post everything on the YouTube, so you can subscribe and get that information as well. And our Instagram has a lot of free information as well. So thank you for joining. And
listen, guys,
hope you have a wonderful holiday.
And if we didn't get to any questions, they are in the course. So it's literally in cleaningbusinessuniversity.com, which is the A to Z breakdown on how to grow and scale a 6 or 7 figure cleaning business without cleaning any houses. Jeremy just told you guys he's been in business for eight months. He did over 100K in his business. He's launching a second location, and he hasn't cleaned a single house. Right? You guys ask us all the time, do you have to clean houses? Absolutely not. He said he doesn't even know. He doesn't even clean his own house at this point. So make sure you tap in Cleaning Business University. Our course is on sale now. It won't be on sale much longer, and the course is going up as we get closer to Black Friday, because a lot of you are going to sit there and wait for Black Friday and think it's going to be on sale.
It's not. It's
going to be closer to regular prices.
It's not getting cheaper than this.
Andre C. Hatchett said,
I want to make sure that that's clear. I don't know if you heard that from someone, but it's not getting cheaper than this on Black Friday. I can put my hand to a Bible and say that. So what the price is now, and it will only go up. So our course is there. We have tons of testimonials. We have tons of information. If you need more, there's more on our Instagram page, but that is the link, cleaningbusinessuniversity.com. Come over, check it out. Join us. We have a community. Once you sign up, we have a paid community that people join where we have over 250 students in there, and we dive deeper, answer questions monthly and everything like that. So see you on the other side. If not, have a wonderful evening.
All right, guys. Peace. You too.
Oh,